Welcome back to the Formula Regional Middle East Championship certified by FIA. We are Feline Wang and Jake Sanson, and here in Kuwait, we're approaching the halfway point.
各位观众，大家好，欢迎回到我们的直播现场。即将进行的是中东区域方程式锦标赛第3站第1回合的正赛了。那么我们也来到了整个赛季的一个中间的非常关键的点。So Jake, tell us more about it. Is we are reaching the mid of the season, and what's the story here?
Well, Antonelli has been very consistent over the course of the first 6 races. He leads the championship just by staying strong and in the top 5 every single time. But Taylor Barnard has got his first win, and he's trying to catch up the Italian. So these two definitely look like the stars of the show at the moment. But with 9 races to go, there are still plenty of drivers who could take some victories.
那么我们来到了赛季的中间点呢，安特纳利呢，因为一直稳定的发挥，一直保持了前5名的优秀成绩，所以他在领跑积分榜。那伯纳德呢，在上一回合呢也是拿到了冠军，所以呢依然是有非常大的机会。同时呢，还有9场的正赛，其他的车手也非常有机会能获得冠军。不过在正赛开始之前，先让我们回顾一下上一回合的精彩集锦。
A few days ago here in Kuwait, the racing was fantastic. Let's look back over the best bits. Kuwait Motor Town became the newest circuit to greet the Formula Regional Middle East Championship, and with both teams and drivers relishing the new challenges the course presents, anything could have happened over the course of a busy weekend. The first lap of racing created controversy after a huge crash involving half the field. Despite the ferocity, everybody was okay, and after a red flag to clear the debris, racing could continue. The man who had benefited most was Davide in his final outing of the year, who had somehow crept up to the lead. He repeated his success from Dubai by winning the opening race. But his young rookie teammate Andrea Kimi Antonelli produced a solid and consistent showing with 2 second places. He could have been on the podium a 3rd time had his left rear suspension not collapsed in race 2 to remove the Italian from a race for the first time this season. Taylor Barnard had another crazy weekend. He would charge up to the podium in race 1, only to be penalised for his role in the first lap crash. He would finish 2nd on the road in race 2, but would later inherit the victory after his teammate Joshua Dufek, who won brilliantly, would later be disqualified for a technical infringement. Sadly, in race 3, we'll never know how well he could have done, as he tangled with Rafael Kamara on the opening lap. Sami Megatune finally shook off the gremlins from Dubai as he bagged a 4th place finish in the 2nd race and triumphed beautifully in the 3rd to win in fantastic style. Had he not been part of the race 1 chaos, he could even have won twice. High-Tech had a troubled weekend as Sebastian Montoya showed enough pace to win, but couldn't score points after a catalogue of bad luck. Luke Browning made a strong debut, scoring points. And Gabriele Mini had his final outing and a weekend to forget, with mechanical problems affecting both of Saturday's races after his involvement in race 1's drama. There were podium finishes throughout the weekend for others, as Josh Dufek, Nikhil Bora and Rafael Kamara all made their way to the podium, as did Paraguay's Joshua Dirksen, who also stunned everyone by grabbing pole position for the first race of the weekend. So Antonelli leads the way by 12 points, 19 ahead of Barnard and 25 ahead of Bora. Beganovic's absence puts him out of the title race. Antonelli also leads the rookie standings, ahead of Bora and British star Aidan Neate. Whilst the Mumbai Falcons are stretching their lead in the team standings, but PHM and MP will be catching. So the battles will rage here at a very different Kuwait Motor Town circuit compared to what we saw earlier in this week. It is much cloudier, much colder, much gloomier and much windier. There is a 50% chance of rain too. It couldn't be more different to what we saw 4 days ago. Hello everybody, Jake Sanson here with you to commentate on this first race of 3 in a midweek race weekend. A very strange situation to be racing on a Tuesday and a Wednesday in the middle of the week as we battle for the next battle in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship certified by FIA 2023. 6 races in, 2 wins for Beganovic and 1 for everybody else. But the championship leader has yet to win their first race of the season. It really is going to be an intriguing battle for the remaining 9 races of the year and very close up at the top end. Dino Beganovic and Gabriele Mini have both returned to Europe to focus on their upcoming title campaigns, which means that the championship fight is now between Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Taylor Barnard on this amazing new circuit. From the start-finish line, flat out through left-hander at turn 1 and along the drag strip, you reach this corner, turn 2. It's a tight left-hand hairpin which really brings out the best of the drivers. It's wide enough to run 4 or 5 cars, but you probably shouldn't on lap 1, as we found out last time. However, if you get the trajectory and the braking just right for this hairpin, you then find your way to the next part of the radius. And as you can see, it's actually uphill in gradient, which means that the drivers have to be smooth and precise, as well as fast on exit. Once the cars have come up over the top of the crest, they then negotiate the downhill chicane, what I like to call the corkscrew. You turn left, right and left again, and it's a very easy part of the circuit to make a mistake or traverse track limits. It's dusty, it's windy, and the circuit changes every lap. If the drivers are definitely going to run the gauntlet and make a mistake, it's most likely going to be here. A long hairpin to the left and a tighter one to the right leads us on to the next 2 chicanes. The first one is fairly straightforward, flat right, flat left. But then we come to the second one, and this is a much tougher pair of corners because you're flat out on the throttle and you're turning in to a blind apex, uphill on the gradient. So it's very tricky, especially if you're pursuing another car, trying to get in the slipstream to hunt down an overtake. It can be very tricky to run in the dirty wash of the car in front, and that's when even more mistakes can creep in. Sector 3 is the point on the circuit where the drivers get to experience some serious G-force. 5 right-hand corners that really test the driver's resolve. The first 2 are pretty much flat out with a decent apex. The third one, you have to keep a slightly more wide open angle because then you're going to tighten in very tight for turn 5 and even ride the crest of the curb. And you have to be very careful on exit because otherwise in the left-hander, you're going to be vulnerable to attack. You need to take the next couple of left-handers with style and confidence, then rise over the crest and into the braking zone for the final bend. It's a little bit slippery and dusty here, and it's a downhill gradient, so you need to be very careful on the brakes and a little bit delicate on throttle application. Turn-in is absolutely precise on this point, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of pace on the run to turns 1 and 2. But if you get it right, then you're going to have a lot of fun for the next 26 minutes with 1 lap to spare. It is a phenomenal racetrack, Kuwait Motor Town. Sadly, the weather has not really been as kind to us as it was over the course of round 2 or even yesterday in the bone-dry sunny conditions of testing. Today, I don't really want to say the word sandstorm because it's not official, but it's certainly flirting with it at the moment. You can see how tricky it is out there. But our pole sitter is down with our lady on the scene, Feline Wang.
Hey Josh, you are back where you belong. Tell us, how confident are you that we won't have the same accident we had last week?
Oh yeah, again P1, that's very nice, finally, here again. I think it's gonna be more calm now because last time it was the very first race for everybody in this track, so we got some valuable knowledge with these 3 races we had last week. And yeah, so I think it's we as drivers, we know better how it's gonna work in turn 2. So I think we will behave better and it's gonna be a better race.
Have a good race. Yeah. 那刚刚我问到 Josh 呢，他因为他在上个比赛中呢，他在2号弯的时候就出现了一个事故。那么他呢，他提到呢，他也很高兴的能回到头位发车的一个好位置，同时呢，他也获得了更多的经验，比上一周呢有更多的经验在这条赛道上，同时他也更好的可以去处理如何进入2号弯之后，如何去面对这个之后的挑战。So also for you guys, like now we are getting really windy and it's very foggy here. So a totally different condition compared with last week. Let's see how those drivers gonna handle it. Back to you guys.
I feel really sorry for Feline Wang down there on the start-finish straight, dealing with all of that wind, fog and mist, and it's so much colder now than it was the last time we came racing. But yes, a very tricky situation. For those who are interested, we also broadcast not just in English but also in Chinese because we are live on Chinese television. Hello to all those of you who are watching out in China. But we are here, ready to battle. Formula Regional Middle East Championship race number 7 of the season. And this is a very different situation compared to what we've seen. Pole position is Joshua Dirksen. Second on the grid is this man, Sami Megatuniv, the member of the Hyderabad Blackbirds MP team who took the win in race 3 last time out in Kuwait. And now he gets to go from second on the grid. but it's going to be a really interesting situation for all of the contenders. It is a very tough battle. But the top 3 cars from time qualifying number 1 were all from the Hyderabad Blackbirds by MP Motorsport. Out of curiosity, I decided to look up what the collective noun was for Blackbirds. You'd never ever guess. It's a cloud. It's meant to be, isn't it? The cloud of Blackbirds up front. Dirksen, Megatunev and this man, Mari Boya, who won race 3 in Dubai. It seems that MP Motorsport are very good indeed at winning race 3 over a weekend. Can they win race 1? 1, 2 and 3 up front. They've got to try and thwart the offensive from everybody else that will be chasing them. There is the championship leader, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the Italian Mercedes Junior in the Mumbai Falcons car. And he starts from 4th on the grid. All he has to do effectively is do what he's been doing for the last few races. Stay in the top 5, stay out of trouble. He's only had 1 DNF, and that was not through contact. That was through a collapsed left rear suspension at the restart of one of the race 2 safety car periods. So there's definitely an intriguing battle ahead. It is very cool out there, very calm, but also very foggy and very chilly. That is about what the drivers can see on this particular camera position. And as you can see behind Andrea Kimi Antonelli, he's got his teammate Rafael Kamara and the 15 of Nikita Bedrin right in behind as well. Rafael Kamara finally bagged his first podium after the unfortunate technical exclusion of Josh Dufek in race 2. Kamara had finished 3rd on the road on that occasion. So Kamara was promoted up into 3rd place, but he would rather like to stand on the podium under his own merit rather than have it gifted to him on a technicality. So now he's getting himself ready to go off P5 on the grid in order to do that. There are Rafael Villa-Gomez and Taz Intervuvazak, the Pinnacle VAR teammates, who are running on the 4th row of the starting grid. And the man who starts P6 is Nikita Bedrin, who earlier today was announced as a Formula 3 contender later on in the season on the F1 weekend. So he is definitely highly motivated to try and get a decent result. Look at the fog and the mist here at Kuwait Motor Town. It's a very different weather condition compared to what we had for the first round on this particular circuit a few days ago. Running in quick succession. The reason for that is, of course, if you run these 2 weekends in quick succession, there's enough time for all of the teams to pack up and maneuver their freight all the way back to round 4 of the championship in Dubai. You need to give them a little bit of time to do that, obviously, because they've got to drive about 3,000 kilometers all the way across to the Dubai Autodrome. It's a very big distance by road, and obviously a lot of the freight has come here by truck. So you have to obviously allow them a little bit more time to get across. So it's very tricky to get to the Dubai Autodrome from this point on the planet. They obviously have to negotiate a heck of a lot of road from where we currently are. So that is why we are racing in the middle of the week. We give ourselves just a little bit more time in order to negotiate that distance. I can tell you it is actually not quite as many kilometers as I said it was. It was 1,205 kilometers, but that's still a good 12 hours of driving if you non-stop it. So that's a good 2 days of driving. You pass all the way through Kuwait, back across Bahrain on the far side of it, through the Saudi Arabian Gulf coast, past Qatar, and then back into the United Arab Emirates. It's a long drive, and that's why we're racing midweek, so that we can give the teams and the crews a better chance of speeding up the process of getting back. The crowds are certainly enjoying world-class single-seater motorsport for the first time this week. We obviously had the 12 hours of Kuwait back in December. That was the first major international motor race on this circuit. But this is the second group of races, the first week that single-seater racing in international competition has ever come to the circuit. The 15-second board goes up. And can Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the championship leader, do anything about the cloud of blackbirds up front? The MP Motorsport trio will lead by example, but after the first start that we had in race 1, round 2 on Friday afternoon, where we had nothing but chaos, that will be in the back of the minds of everyone. Joshua Dirksen and Sami Megatunev on the front row of the starting grid. Row 2 is Mari Boya and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Third row of the grid is Rafael Kamara of Brazil, and then Nikita Bedrin for PHM Racing is in P6. Rafael Villa-Gomez and Taz in the Rubberzak, the Pinnacle teammates. And rounding out the top 10, Lorenzo Flusha of Spain and Brad Benavides in his repaired 62. Taylor Barnard down in 11th alongside Nicol Bora, 2 winners this year. Aidan Neate is 13th on the grid alongside the birthday boy, Luke Browning. 15th on the grid is Kirill Smal. He replaces Dino Beganovic alongside Joshua Dufek. Then 17th on the grid is Levi Revege alongside Martini Stenshorn. He replaces Francesco Braschi. Sebastian Montoya and Matthias Zagazeta will be the South Americans charging their way through the pack. Giovanni Mascio lines up alongside Michael Shin, R&B versus Prema. Then it's Ayato Iwasaki. He replaces Pepe Marti at Pinnacle and Dan Mavlyutov for High Tech. Han Chenyu is alongside Niels Kuhlen. And at the very back of the starting grid, Wang Zhongwei, who had a frightening crash in this morning's pre-practice session when the car decided it didn't want to be in company or partnership with its left front wheel anymore. As you can probably tell, there is a car missing, and that's the number 53 High Tech. Gabriele Mini is out of the season. He has decided to return back to Europe to continue his preparation for the upcoming European season, as has Dino Beganovic, by the way. He was only ever meant to be here for 2 rounds, and he's completed 2 rounds. So there you are, a fascinating change of events for Dino Beganovic, who has to leave the championship despite being second in the standings with 2 victories. So he's gone, and that means that the championship really is wide open. KJ Gaming 53 wants to know if Sebastian Montoya is related to Juan Pablo Montoya. He certainly is. He is his son, and Juan Pablo is here this weekend, giving his son much needed guidance and support. So the battle is raging. 270 brake horsepower in these cars. It's a lot. Certainly a step up from the Formula 4 cars that a lot of these drivers will have come from. And this is a very tough situation. The fog is high. The winds are strong. It's not quite a sandstorm, but it isn't far away from one. And there is a 50% chance of rain through the course of this race as well. This is a very different challenge to what we saw a few days ago for the first ever single-seater race around Kuwait Motor Town. Everybody gearing themselves up, ready for the show. And what a show it's going to be. We had 3 different race winners here on Friday and Saturday. Dino Beganovic won race 1 last time out. Race 2 was eventually won by Taylor Barnard. It was Joshua Dufek on the road, of course. And then race 3, a triumphant performance from Sami Megatunov of France. 3 different teams winning as well. But is there going to be a victory for the pole sitter, Joshua Dirksen, the Paraguayan? All 4 of the race winners other than Dino Beganovic are on this grid. The championship leader hasn't won a race yet, and the pole sitter hasn't won a race either. Talk about open competition. It's right here in Formula Regional Middle East. The final few cars just making their way to the starting grid here at Kuwait Motor Town. Race 1 of round 3 of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship 2023 here at Kuwait Motor Town. It's a 1-2-3 for the Hyderabad Blackbirds by MP with championship leader Andrea Kimi Antonelli in P4. Let's see how it goes. Avanti! Let's race at Kuwait. And it's a great start from the pole sitter, no problems for Dirksen. It looks like a 1-2-3 is perfect for the Hyderabad Blackbirds, and a good start too from Rafael Kamara. He slots in behind Antonelli as the field squirts its way on the throttle down the back straight alongside the drag strip parallel. And now they come through. It's 1-2-3 between the Blackbirds. And it's going to be an interesting one. Can Dirksen hold on to the lead as they go through? An interesting challenge. The Blackbirds have hit each other. Oh, I don't believe it. They've tripped themselves up. Now, who is it that spun? Is that Boyer that's gone around? I think it's the 63. There's more problems in the middle of the field. That's Mavlyutov. Mavlyutov in the high-tech spins it down the corkscrew and down to the back of the field. I couldn't see which of the Blackbirds it is that has spun it around. Well, the Hyderabad Blackbirds by MP Motorsport cars have absolutely thrown it away. In the mist, it's really hard to make out who's who. But down the inside, you see a little bit of a change of direction. Is that Dirksen tagging his teammate Megatunov and Boyer drifting wide? Well, I think Dirksen is the one that's dropped to the back, I'm afraid. It is Dirksen. Joshua Dirksen was the one that dropped to the tail end of the field, I'm afraid. So it's Mari Boyer that leads the race at the moment. And Rafael Camara has come through to third position behind Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli just dodged it and has come through to P2. Wow. A very intriguing situation. There's not going to be a safety car because everybody's got going again. And now we've got a battle over the crest. No, it's Antonelli, Camara, and then in fourth place, that is the 38 of Rafael Villagomez. Neat is going wheel to wheel with Barnard. Barnard drives around the outside and holds onto it. So at the end of the lap, Boyer, Antonelli, Camara, Villagomez, Bedrin, Flusha, Megatuniv, Benavides, Interfuvazak and Barnard, then Neat, Browning and Smile. Dirksen has dropped to 26th. Mavli Yutov has dropped to the back of the field, and side by side, that's Montoya going wheel to wheel with Nikhil Bora. Down the parallel straight to the drag strip. And Villagomez is having to defend. As around the outside, that's Bedrin. Bedrin picking them both off. He runs wide. Watch for Flusha down the inside. Flusha is squeezed by Villagomez. Villagomez trips up. Bedrin's held it. Bedrin goes through. And now it's time for Sami Megatuniv to make a comeback bid. So Megatuniv is tucked up behind Villagomez and Flusha. And Tazin Vuvazak is in the mix there as well. Some tough battles all the way through here in Kuwait Motor Town. So they continue. Look at the mist and the fog. You can barely make out a thing through the chicanes. But the top three have broken clear. And Villagomez is having to hold on in front of Bedrin. No, Bedrin's got through. Bedrin is in front. So Bedrin has picked off Villagomez already and is up in the fourth place. Nikita Bedrin is on a whirlwind here in fourth position. So Boyer, Antonelli and Camara. Bedrin in fourth. Fifth place is Villagomez and sixth is Lorenzo Flusha. Montoya battling away still with Nikhil Bora. Montoya in front of the Singaporean for the moment. And in the mix there behind them, that's Martinius Stenshorn, the new boy, the Norwegian. Still running strong. But there is not a cloud of blackbirds anymore. There's a whistle, as there's only one of them up front. Here comes Villagomez, trying to get alongside Bedrin. Bedrin needs to hold him off. Give him a little bit of space. That's good. Well done by Bedrin. Didn't chop across. So Villagomez now sits in the draft. Flat out through turn one. Watch for Lorenzo Flusha behind, though. Flusha's got a faster run, and Villagomez knows it. Flusha's going to get up alongside him. And Flusha is going to get into fourth place. Boyer's got to defend. Antonelli wants the win. Flusha's going to dive in behind. And is Flusha going to get the place? No, he's not. But round the outside, Villagomez trying to hunt back in. Flusha's through. Flusha passes Villagomez, and he's got the move on Bedrin. Squeezes Bedrin, who chops back across along the corkscrew. Flusha now does the same thing. Tit for tat. Bedrin's going to have a faster run round the outside. But Flusha's going to tuck back in on the inside. Bedrin holds the place. Villagomez tucking in round the outside now. So Flusha's got to wait. And as they come through, they'll get back into sight through the S's. Very tricky to see, but Boyer leads Antonelli and Camara. Here's the battle. Bedrin hanging on to fourth position in front of Villagomez, Flusha and Megatuniv. And Bedrin drops a little wide. Here's the chance for Villagomez. Megatuniv's got a run on Flusha as well as they go through the five rights. And just in behind Megatuniv, we've got Interfuvazak. Antonelli is all over the back of Boyer. Camara's right with them in third as well. The Brazilian may have a chance of the win too. Excellent racing. And so far, so good. Let's watch this again. Look, Flusha's on the inside. Bedrin is forced into the error. He drifts wide, and he pulls right across in front of Flusha. So Flusha has to drift off the road as well. Tit for tat. Stalemate between the two of them. That was very nearly an incident between both drivers there that could have ended in contact, but they just about kept it out of harm's way. Boyer leads. Antonelli, Camara, Bedrin, Villagomez, Flusha, Megatuniv, Neat, Interfuvazak, and Taylor Barnard is P10. Here goes Interfuvazak, making his bid on Neat. He actually used a lot of curb to get alongside him there. Interfuvazak, who duelled with Aidan Neat last year in British F4, is now duelling with him in Formula Regional Middle East. And they're still side by side. Meanwhile, Megatuniv has got Flusha, and Interfuvazak holds on in front of Aidan Neat. Good work, good driving. And they stay out of harm's way, side by side. This is Flusha trying to keep Megatuniv back. Don't even think about it. This is great defense from Flusha. He holds on in front of Sami Megatuniv. It's 3 wide behind them. That is Barnard, Smell and Benavides, I believe. All dueling away for position. And there is an investigation going on. Nikita Bedrin, possible gaining an advantage beyond the track limits. So that could be a problem for Nikita Bedrin. We'll keep an eye on it because he's currently in 4th position ahead of Via Gomez and Flusha. Megatuniv has had to back down as Intrafivazat closes back up on Aiden Neat. Neat has held on to it for the moment. Andrea Kimi Antonelli is reeling in Marty Boyer, but he doesn't want to rush it. Flusha's run wide. Flusha's run off. Now, can he get back on before losing too much ground to Megatuniv? But he's got dirt on the tyres. Here's the chance for Megatuniv, and he's through. Now, there is a bit of surface sand on the circuit because the wind is high, so it is blowing sand onto the circuit, don't forget. So it's a bit like running on water at the moment. Here's Flusha getting back in on the inside of Megatuniv. He dives in, he locks up. Megatuniv's got to be careful on the exit because he's got pressure from the man behind him. That's Taylor Barnard. Championship contender. Now up to 8th past Neat and Intrafivazat. It's not raining, but it may as well be wet tyre conditions because it's so slippery. There's the move from Kirill Smal. He gets alongside Taz Intrafivazat. And now Boyer is really struggling to keep Antonelli behind him. 3 wide further back. This is for 6th. This is Flusha, Megatuniv and Barnard. Barnard round the outside. Barnard gets them all. Brilliant. Taylor Barnard, P6. He charges forward past Flusha and Megatuniv. Watch for Aiden Neat behind the Frenchman as well. Excellent stuff. Green flag racing the whole way. And this is what it gives us. Barnard up to P6. He came from behind here and split the 2 drivers up the middle, just like a video game. Stormed through round the outside. Thanks, Lorenzo. See you later. Great work from Taylor Barnard. He has never been more motivated to go for the championship title than he has been here. He's only 19 points back from Antonelli, and he knows that Kimi is in 2nd place, hustling Mari Boyer for the win. Hopping over the curbs, Antonelli. He really is trying to put the Spaniard under pressure. But Boyer has won a race this year. Antonelli has not. But Antonelli stayed consistent throughout. That's what's kept him in the lead of the championship. Never lower than a 5th place finish, Antonelli, this year. He has had 1 DNF. That was in race 2 in Kuwait on Saturday morning when the left rear suspension collapsed. He had no contact from anybody. Look at Kimi just working the wheel. Boyer getting a little bit loose. This might be the chance for Kimi Antonelli. He's in the draft. Watch him through turn 1. He'll go flat. He'll be close. He's catching him. This is the chance now for Kimi Antonelli. And he knows it. He's committing. He's going alongside. Marty Boyer trying to hold it. Kimi Antonelli's got to be brave on the brakes. Can he get Mari Boyer? Can he force him into the error? He's through. Kimi Antonelli is in the lead. Andrea Kimi Antonelli finally takes the lead of a Formula Regional race. He has not done it yet so far this year, but he leads the championship, and now he is on course for his first win of 2023. Oh my goodness. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the Italian stallion, the Mercedes F1 Junior, is now working his way through the mist to go for the lead. This is just stunning from Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He has waited, but he is driving in a very similar fashion to Arthur Leclerc last year, who again did not win all of the races until he was ready to. It took him a while to get going on the winners' table, but once he started winning, he didn't stop. And it looks like Andrea Kimi Antonelli has just been getting into his stride. He's had to wait 6 races for a chance to win, and now in the 7th, this could be his time. Fastest lap of the race, though, comes from Taylor Barnard. Now, let's look at the reverse grid situation, because obviously the grid for race 2 is based on the finishing results from race 1 with the top 10 drivers removed. So if it finishes like this, Kirill Smal is going to get pole position for his 2nd ever Formula Regional Middle East race. And let's not forget, in the opening round at Dubai in F4, he was racing there. So this is a big mission for Kirill Smal. If he stays P10, he'll be pole position. So Andrea Chimiantinelli leads ahead of Mari Boya. Rafael Camara third from Nikita Bedrin and Rafael Villagomez. Then Taylor Barnard in P5. Barnard P6, I should say. Then Flusha, Megatudiv, Neat, Smal, Dufek, and Nithravivazak. Now look at Rafael Camara. Camara is all over the back of Mari Boya now as well. Safety car, safety car. We've got safety car out on the course. I'm not sure what it's for. Ayato Iwasaki has not come around. So we are under safety car. It was great while it lasted, folks, wasn't it? But Ayato Iwasaki is not circulating around the course anymore, and it looks as though we're under safety car because of it. I wish we could make out what the situation is or where Ayato Iwasaki is on the road, but we can't see it. That's the problem with it being so foggy and so misty. So where is the problem? The only person that hasn't come through is Ayato Iwasaki, the Japanese driver who has replaced Pepe Marti from this round. Pepe Marti has, of course, returned to Europe to focus on his summer campaign. But we're under safety car. Now, this is great news for Camara. Not so great news for Antonelli. He'll be under pressure on the restart from Boya. So Andrea Chimiantinelli, look at how far away he pulled on Mari Boya. All he's got to do is get a good restart, and the win could well be his. So for those who are concerned about the levels of fog out on the circuit, I should point out it is worse in appearance on the camera than it actually is in reality. But it is very foggy. It's just nowhere near as bad as that camera makes it out to be. I can tell you, though, that from my vantage point in my commentary box on the main straight, I can't see turn 2. That's how thick the fog is. I can't see it from my commentary box position. The only way I can see it is to look at the same pictures you're looking at. Well, we need to figure out where is Ayato Iwasaki, because he did not come around at the end of the lap, and we think it's him that is the cause of the safety car. But we can't see his car out on the circuit anywhere. It's going to be one of those mystery safety car incidents, isn't it, where we don't really know why we're touring around behind the safety car at all. I want to see if there is a rescue job going on at one of the corners on the course, but I can't see any work going on at any particular corner on the racetrack. And it's probably happening in Sector 2, where we can't see it very well. Such is the way of things. But we are under safety car conditions. We think for Ayato Iwasaki, the Japanese driver. Ah, there he is. Now you can just about make him out in the fog, in the background. You can just about make his car parked out in the first chicane. So that's where it is. So no wonder we're under safety car. You've got to look very faintly, very carefully. But Ayato Iwasaki's car is there at the first chicane. It's not going to be easy to make it out, but it is there. So at least now we know. But Ayato Iwasaki, the Japanese driver's car, is parked at the first chicane. So now the drivers are currently looking through behind the safety car and through the mist to see if they can see any clear track in front of them. You can just about see it. There it is. That's the best view you're going to get of it, I'm afraid. Ayato Iwasaki's car stationary there in the chicane. That just shows you how thick the fog is. It's hard to see from that distance. Well, that is car number 50. That is Ayato Iwasaki, the Japanese driver, somewhere in the mist. And that's the reason why we are under safety car conditions. But I'm afraid Ayato Iwasaki, the Japanese driver, has parked it up in the mist and in the fog. How different could this race weekend be compared to what we saw a few days ago in the sunshine? Tensions are very frayed here. particularly the NBA Motorsport. Look at it, you can barely see what you're doing, but the marshals have gone to work there. I promise you that down on the ground there, you'll be able to see a lot more than we can looking at it from this distance. But Ayato Iwasaki, the Japanese driver, is in there somewhere, trying to help the marshals recover the car. Now, I should point out that it doesn't look like we're going to get a red flag here, because that car is easily movable. And even though you couldn't see it from that distance, the drivers can see a lot more than you think they can. Well, this is turning into the Formula Regional Middle East Championship and the Hound of the Baskervilles here. It's very foggy and misty indeed here. But we are under safety car for Ayato Iwasaki, the Japanese driver who has stopped out on the circuit. And great to get your questions and your comments while we're under safety car conditions. Good question from Alessio Garofoli. Why are we racing on a Tuesday? Well, that's a really interesting question, actually, because we're racing on Tuesday and Wednesday tomorrow. And this is to assist the teams in their haulage and their freight getting back to the United Arab Emirates, because their next race is in less than 2 weeks' time. So they need to have a little bit of time to actually get the freight back to Dubai for the fourth round of the season. So by holding the races midweek, we give them a little bit more time to do that. Because you have to appreciate, it's 1,350 kilometers from here to Dubai, and all of that freight has got to go on the road, and they've got to pass through Kuwait, through Saudi Arabia, past Bahrain, past Qatar, along the Gulf Coast, and then back into the United Arab Emirates again, via Abu Dhabi, and then along to Dubai. It's a very long drive indeed. So that is why they've got to have a race midweek for the next round coming up 10 days after that. You need a little bit of extra days grace to get them through, because there's a lot of road to cover. If you are not stopping, it takes 12 hours, and obviously with all that freight, you're going to be stopping quite a few times. So the battles continue. Now the question comes in from, well, I've got some great questions in actually. Helen T asked, was Mini supposed to complete the rest of the season, or did he change his mind? Brilliant question. Gabriele Mini was never meant to do the full season of Formula Regional Middle East anyway. He was only ever meant to do a partial campaign to get some training in, to go in for his middle of the season battle in the summer. So he was never going to do the full championship anyway. So he just decided, well, I'll go back to the Europe, I'll get a little bit of extra rest. This was meant to be his last round, I do believe, from what I've gathered, but he decided, well, I'm already having a difficult time. I'm going to go and get a few days extra rest. There's no point risking an injury if you're not going to get what you quite wanted out of the event. So fair enough, nobody's racing his car here at Kuwait Motor Town for round 3. Apparently the seat is going to be filled for rounds 4 and 5 by another driver, but we don't have an announcement as to who that driver is going to be yet, so we will find out. Well, there is the mist and the fog for the clear-up job. You can just about make out the Bobcat on the left, and that just gives you an idea of how tricky and how treacherous the fog is around the circuit here at Kuwait Motor Town. An interesting point made by Racing at Home. If they have to go through Bahrain and Qatar, a decent calendar would start and end in Kuwait and go through those circuits instead of bypassing them. Talk to the promoters, talk to the guys in charge of the circuits. These are the ones that we got the deal to do. If you could write down your list of circuits you wanted and tick the boxes and say, oh yes, we'll make the perfect race series. It's not like e-racing where you just go, right, we'll race on these 4 or 5 circuits, boom, bang, done, we're doing it. There's a lot of deals and a lot of negotiations and a lot of contracts that have to be signed if you're going to bring a championship to go racing there. It's not just as easy as saying, well, that circuit's over there, that circuit's right there in the middle. Great, we'll go racing there. You try and sit in that boardroom and have that conversation. I certainly wouldn't want to. So an interesting battle for all of the contenders on the restart. The Formula Regional Middle East Championship 2023 continues in the 7th race of the year. And it's Andrea Kimi Antonelli who leads on the safety car for what could be his first race win. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Mari Boya Rafael Camara. Now, we're going to look back over the moment where Andrea Kimi Antonelli got himself into first position. This was really, really bold from Kimi. He follows Mari Boya in the slipstream. This is under racing conditions a short while ago, don't forget. He hustles him and he knows he's got a better line and he waits till the last possible moment to get after the draft. Once you're at that point, he just edges Mari Boya to the inside line to cost him a braking zone. Holds the car in the middle of the circuit, gets a good run through. Job done. And if he gets a good restart, which should be fairly soon, Andrea Kimi Antonelli finally is looking at his first race victory of 2023. Fascinating situation for all of the drivers here, but we are under safety car for Ayato Iwasaki's stationary car at the chicane. And Khalid Ben Awad actually makes a good point. The cars don't actually go through Bahrain and Qatar, they pass them along the way, which is a very good point. They run along the coast, but they go alongside the border rather than actually traverse through it. Safety car is in at the end of this lap. There we go, you've had enough of my waffle. Let the drivers do the talking. Time to go racing. Safety car is in at the end of this lap, so Andrea Kimi Antonelli will drop them back. The BMW safety car goes off and hides. So this is up to Andrea Kimi Antonelli now to set the mode. Take your time, don't rush it. Mari Boya and Rafael Camara are right there if you get this wrong, so just take your time. Never been in this position before, never led in a Formula Regional off a safety car. He's gone for it. Drops the hammer, goes for the move. He'll have time before the safety car comes in, so that's fine. A really good battle is ensuing here. Andrea Kimi Antonelli has got a good restart in front of Mari Boya and Rafael Camara. Fourth is Bedrin, then Via Gomez, Barnard, Flusha, Megatuniv, Neat and Kirill Smal, who is set to be pole position for race 2. And we go green, 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 green. We're racing again at Kuwait Motor Town. 4.5 minutes on the clock, plus the lap after that. Can Mari Boya get Antonelli back on the slipstream? He's definitely quick in the draft. And here's Megatuniv trying to shake off Aidan Neat. Down to turn 2, there's going to be a move or two. Here they come into view, Antonelli trying to shake off Boya. Boya on their outside. Boya's going to beat it to the braking zone. Can Antonelli commit without locking up? They go through, and it's side by side further back as Barnard goes wheel to wheel with the Pinnacle, and he's going to have Flusha right in behind him. Antonelli's having to defend big time for Boya. Boya trying to come in. Watch Camara behind them. Boya around the outside. But Antonelli still holds it. No, you don't. I've worked this hard for a race win. I'm not about to give it up now. Very tough stuff on this lap. As everybody goes into the foggiest patch of the circuit in the far distance. When they come back into view, what will be the order? Antonelli still in front of Boya and Flusha, Camara. Camara goes wide on the curbs. Boya goes wide on the curbs. Is this going to be Camara through? Boya commits to the inside. Neither driver prepared to yield. Boya holds second. And watch out behind you, boys, because here comes Nikita Bedrin. Brilliant racing in Formula Regional. Antonelli's leading, that's the key bit, and here comes Barnard. Dives in on the inside of Via Gomez. Can he get through? Not yet. Flusha's there in 7th. Then Megatuniv, Neat and Kirill Smal, who is looking good for the pole position for race 2, but Josh Dufek is in 11th place, and if he can get past Kirill Smal, he'll be pole position for race 2. Via Gomez covers off Barnard. Bit of a lock-up from Bedrin and Camara, I think. Camara's got a run on Boya. Antonelli is gone. He is charging away up front as Montoya gets the move there on Megatuniv, who has dropped all the way back to 15th. So Megatuniv has had a terribly scrappy lap. Side by side, there goes Dirksen. Dirksen gets the move on Sagazeta. Look at Antonelli, he is checked out, and here comes Camara, chopping across on Boya. Indra Fuvazak's going wheel to wheel off the road further back. Barnard commits on the inside of Via Gomez. And that's Benavides getting the move done as Bora drifts wide off the road, I think. Is that Bora? No, that's going to be Stenshorn. Stenshorn drifts wide as they drop down through the corkscrew. Indra Fuvazak having another go at Benavides, and he's there. Taz Indra Fuvazak gets the move on Brad Benavides as Montoya chases after them both. Then it's the two RHGP boys behind of Stenshorn and Revej, and Luke Browning is in the mix there as well. Happy birthday, Luke. Did you ever think you'd be in as much of a P Super as this one? Still they duel. This is Flusha going wheel to wheel with Aidan Neat. And in behind him is Kirill Smal. Smal would actually like to be a little further up if he can, because he'll score a few more points, but also he'll be in third on the grid tomorrow, which might even be better than P1. If you're starting from the pole, you are cannon fodder for the breaking point for turn 2. Now, Taylor Barnard is in the championship fight, so he wants to take on his teammate Nikita Bedrin. He's already got past FIA Gomez, now he wants to pass Bedrin. And of course, his teammate Bedrin has just announced a deal in Formula 3. Boy, would Taylor Barnard love an F3 seat for 2023. Maybe a good run for the title could change things. Kirill Smal goes for the move on Aidan Neat. And there's the overtake. A good run from Smal, but Neat is going to get him back again. And he's going to get some support from behind. That's Josh Dufek. There's a spin out of the final corner. There's a spin. Someone is facing the wrong way. That's Joshua Dirksen. Joshua Dirksen, the pole sitter, has spun around to the final bend. And there's great duels going down the straight towards the braking zone. Barnard trying to come around the outside of his teammate. And Barnard is through. Barnard gets past. So that's Taylor Barnard into 4th position. Another brave run. Whoa, that was close at the top of the crest. We almost had a bit of badinage there. And Antonelli just stretches out in front. A 1:49.1 compared to Rafael Kamara in 2nd on a 1:49.9. Absolutely incredible. Great racing. So still, the battle runs very deep indeed here. The time has run down to 0. And we are still running very fast indeed. Antonelli stretching away. 2.3 seconds was the gap. But Kamara is actually going a little bit quicker than Antonelli, but it doesn't matter. Look at the gap. Kimi Antonelli running out in front. Rafael Kamara 2nd. Marty Boyer is 3rd. Then Bedrin, Barnard, Villa Gomez, Flusha. I think Barnard may have actually got past Bedrin. Yeah, of course he did. He did it at turn 2, didn't he? So Antonelli up over the top of the crest. And he's got one more lap to negotiate. Time has run down to 0 on this lap. And there's the last lap board. Here we go. The last lap begins for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Out in front of Rafael Kamara, then Marty Boyer, then Barnard, Bedrin, Villa Gomez, Flusha, Neat, Dufek, and Kirill Smal, who is set to be pole position for tomorrow's race 2. It's been a long time coming, it seems. We've only had 2 race weekends, but through all of those, Antonelli looked like he could win. In the background, we've got more duels. That's Flusha trying to get his way past Bedrin and Villa Gomez. Well, Flusha's taken on one of them, and he's certainly dealt with Villa Gomez. Villa Gomez trying to get in there, but it's not going to happen. So Villa Gomez is going to have to wait now as Aidan Neat tries to attack him. Neat's going to have the run on the inside line. And Aidan Neat will get the move, will he? No, Villa Gomez shuts the door in his face. Taylor Barnard sets the fastest lap of the race. Can he catch Mari Boyer before the end of this race? He only had 0.7 of a second deficit to him. So Barnard has got to do everything he can to try and overhaul Marty Boyer in the final sector of the lap. Incident involving cars 63 and 61 is going to come under investigation post-race. Megatuniv and Dirksen are both pitted. They're both out. But how about this man? The Italian stallion himself, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, having fun in the lead of this race. After qualifying, it looked like nobody could catch the cloud of blackbirds, but the cast of falcons came forward to challenge. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the Mercedes F1 Junior, is about to come of age. He was already leading the championship. It was only a matter of when he'd win his first race. It's now! Andrea Kimi Antonelli wins in Kuwait. Supreme masterclass from the Italian. Grande! Oh, vai, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Superb from the Italian stallion. Rafael Kamara 2nd. Marty Boyer 3rd. And as far as Kimi's championship attack is concerned, now he feels like he can be champion. This could be the moment where he never looks back. Finally, he gets the win. Finally, he finishes where he belongs. He doesn't just lead the championship. He's not just the best rookie. Now he's a winner. And two right. The word stunning and the word genius gets overused in the modern era. I can't find better words to describe Andrea Kimi Antonelli's campaign so far. And finally he gets to win. In his 7th race of the year, he gets it done. Superb from Kimi. He's a fabulously exciting, passionate and enthusiastic racer. He has zero ego whatsoever. He just loves to go racing. He's full of passion, full of positivity. He's the friendliest, charmiest, most genuine character you'll find in the grid. A fabulous friend to everybody who knows him. And he'll even go and have a play in a kart. He actually turned up to the Coppa Campione, the Champion Cup kart, for rental karts last year. Why? Because he fancied a play. The kid is oozing with charisma and talent. Italy has waited a long time for a Formula One world champion. It last happened 70 years ago. I'm not saying it's going to happen anytime soon, but the next man who could make it happen might be the man you're looking at. Andrea Kimi Antonelli is a winner at last. Thousands of people on the internet have been waiting for this boy to triumph at the top step. There's your moment. A great race for Marty Boyer. He held on as long as he could in 3rd position. They've got great one-lap pace in qualifying, but you can't beat the cast of Falcons. They won the title last year with Arthur Leclerc. There is a very good chance that they might get it done again with Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He wins at last from Rafael Camara and Marty Boyer. Taylor Barnard fights back beautifully from 11th on the grid to 4th. Nikita Bedrin in a brave 5th place ahead of Lorenzo Flusha, Rafael Villagomez, Aidan Neate, Joshua Dufek, and tomorrow's pole sitter, Kirill Smal. Taz Vivazak is ahead of Brad Benavides and Sebastian Montoya from Martini Estenchon and Livent Revej. Happy birthday, Luke Browning. Not quite where he wanted to be. Giovanni Mascio ahead of Michael Shin. Nikhil Bora will be disappointed with 19th ahead of Niels Kuhlen. And then finishing us off will be Han Chen-Yu, Dan Mavlyutov, Matthias Jagazeta, Wang Chongwei, and then the retirements. Well, Sami Megatuniv and Josh Dirksen, who tangled on the opening lap, the 2 front row men, and then Ayato Iwasaki, who brought out the first and only safety car period. What drama. Down in the pits, Feline Wang has found our winner, Andrea Kimi Antonelli.
Hey, Kimi, congratulations. A brilliant race. Tell us all about it.
It was a really tough race, starting from P4. I had a good start, and yeah, I had a good start, and already after T2 I was in P2, and then I had way more pace than the leader, and yeah, at the end I took advantage of one of his mistakes in the last sector to make the move down the straight, and yeah, it was really tough. Also after the restart,
well, sadly, we couldn't hear the end of that interview with Andrea Kimi Antonelli. But isn't it very poignant that his teammate, Lorenzo Flusha, couldn't wait to embrace him? He's such a likable guy. He doesn't have rivals. He doesn't have enemies. He has a great bunch of racers who love to be on the same track as him. He is exactly what this sport is supposed to be about. We're delighted he's a winner. And here's how he did it. Through the murk and the mist of race 1 here at Formula Regional Middle East in Kuwait, a very different scene to what we had 4 days ago. The run to the first corner. The cloud of blackbirds should have dominated from the front. Unfortunately, there was mutiny in the air. A tangle, a very unfortunate one, as Dirksen clouted the back of Megatuniv and opened the floodgates for everybody to run through. Problems for Mavlyutov on the front row of the first lap of the race as well, I should say. but at least he got going again. Then the three-wide battle as Taylor Barnard stormed his way from 11th on the grid to charge his way back into contention. But then Antonelli, one objective, one mission, win a race. Prove that you deserve to be at the front of the championship. And when the opportunity came, he was never going to be denied. A great win from a great move. The safety car came out for the stationary Ayato Iwasaki, but even on the restart, Mari Boya found no way through. Despite the pressure, despite the intensity of the battle, Boya retook the lead for just a few meters. But don't try and take one win away from Antonelli when he's got his dander up. The Italian stallion finally takes victory, extends his championship lead, and puts one hand on the lead of the championship, unsurpassable for the time being. A great win for the Mercedes Junior, and it could be the first of many.
Hey, Kimi, congratulations, a brilliant race. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was really a tough race starting from P4. Start was quite good, and then in T2 I was already up to second place. And then in the first few laps I had just one more pace than the leader, and yeah, after a couple of laps I managed to make the move down the straight. And yeah, after that immediately I opened the gap, but luckily we got the safety car. And yeah, the restart wasn't easy because I had to defend, but I think we managed really well, and I'm really happy to bring home the first win.
Hey, congratulations！ 那刚刚呢，我也问到 Kimi 呢，他就是他这场比赛的表现，他也提到他从第4位发车，那么很高兴的，在他拿到了很快的速度，他比这个领先的车的速度更快呢，所以他在2号弯的时候就拿到了第2位的位置。那后面呢，在重启之后呢，他也非常顺利的拿到了头位，那么最后呢拿到了冠军，他非常的开心。Back to you guys.
Thanks, Feline. I'm very glad we were able to get the full interview this time. Of course, we had it in Chinese as well as in English, because we are live on Chinese television. That's the thing about Andrea Kimi Antonelli. There are some racing drivers in the world that have as many enemies as they do friends and rivals. Kimi doesn't have enemies. He just has incredible racers who want to go racing with him. They want to be on the same racetrack as him. They want to have some fun with this very playful Italian lad who has grown up around racing. He's been part of the Antonelli GT racing team fold. I was there at Mugello last year and decided to sit next to him for a couple of minutes just to see if he noticed. When he did, his eyes lit up like a kid at school. It's a friend. Wonderful to see. He just loves racing. He soaks it up through his very bone marrow and absolutely adores it. He's the kind of driver that reminds you why you love racing. If you would compare him to anybody else, it would be a racer from the 50s, maybe Moss or Ascari or Fangio. The kind of guy that doesn't have enemies at all, just reminds you why you love motor racing. Everyone is happy for him when he does well, and everyone wants him to rise up the ladder. And for those on the stream, I notice who are saying, why isn't he in F3 this year? Why isn't he going to do F3? You can't rush these things. Why rush and accelerate up the ladder too fast when you can just take your time and earn your plaudits? If he goes to FIA this year, which he's bound to do, he could win that, then get into F3, and all of a sudden the world will know just what this boy can do. Absolutely phenomenal young man who we are all very, very thrilled to be part of his journey. But let's talk about the others. Let's not just make it the Antonelli show. Rafael Kamara did a grand job there in second place to hunt down Mari Boya and bag his best result in a Formula Regional car as well. It's not going to be long before Rafael Kamara takes the win in Formula Regional. He'll get his shot this year, and it's going to be a really exciting run. And Mari Boya back on the podium again. The only one of the Blackbirds that didn't crumble at the start.
Now here comes the winning drivers. Third place, car number 60 from Hyderabad, Blackbirds by MP Motorsport, Mari Boya.
So here comes Mari Boya, back on the podium again, bagging more very strong points. Rafael Kamara finally stands on a podium properly. It's not inherited, it's not gifted, he fought for it. I can't add words to that. Andrea Kimi Antonelli finally wins in Formula Regional. And boy, must that feel good. So Mari Boya banks more points while his rivals faltered. He could be in the hunt for the championship this year. Rafael Camara, his best result so far. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli is going to get a pair of trophies. The winner overall and the top rookie and the championship leader. It doesn't get much better than that for the Italian stallion on the top step. Remember the name, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. You're going to be hearing a lot over the next decade. So the contenders will have some fun and games up on the top of the podium. They will have the Kuwaiti flag on the rostrum. But after that, they'll get to spray the bubbly in style. A great performance from a very tough race here in Formula Regional Middle East. But now, Mari Boya, Rafael Camara and Andrea Kimi Antonelli will have some fun on the podium as they get busy with a fizzy. A brilliant race and a brilliant end. The championship leader finally grabs his first win of 2023. And that could be the first of many. But tomorrow, we get to do it all over again. Rejoin us here at Kuwait Motor Town as the cast of Falcons try to grab some more race victories here at Kuwait Motor Town. From myself, Jake Sanson, and the whole crew, thank you very much indeed for being with us for Race 7 of 2023. Join us for more in Race 8 and 9 of both F4 UAE and Formula Regional Middle East tomorrow here at Kuwait Motor Town. Bye for now.